a coastal island in its natural state, very much like what the first European settlers may have seen when they came ashore, and what most of us like to picture when we think of the coast. That image may still exist in our minds, but in reality, in most places anyway, it looks more like this. And the consequences of our love affair with the coast are fast catching up with us.
Every biological system has a carrying capacity, and we're doing everything we can to pack more and more people in here.
And my great fear is that, I'm going to tell my grandchildren about a coastal North Carolina that's not going to exist. And that's why I do what I do.
We protect this organism, we better come out here and swim and fish, come down the shoreline and crab, and bring your grandchildren. If we don't, we're going to be like New Jersey and California where you cannot swim in the water. Do we want that? I don't think so.
These are the voices of our Coastkeepers, 3 individuals dedicated to safeguarding our coastal rivers, sounds, and beaches. As part of the North Carolina Coastal Federation, they are independent of any state agency. They don't enforce or write laws. Instead, they work with citizens who want to have a voice in the management of coastal issues.
We have 3 parts of our program. One of them is environmental education. One of them is restoring our marshes and oyster reefs and other, coastal habitat. And the original goal of the Coastal Federation was advocacy, making sure that our coast is protected by law. I mean, the laws are followed. And that's really what a waterkeeper does more than anything.
It is unfortunate in North Carolina that, and I suspect it's true of most states, that enforcement of environmental regulations these days is done mainly by complaint. And that's not because the agencies don't want to enforce their rules, they just don't have the manpower to do it. We're the squeaky wheel. We are the squeaky wheel, and we try to get the agencies to do their jobs.
Monitoring what's going on in coastal waters is a big job for just 3 Coastkeepers. It's made easier by a small army of volunteers, such as these folks who are helping with a study to measure pollution that's plaguing the White Oak River. The nearby community of Cedar Point is a partner in the project.
The 4 watersheds we're looking at with this test, or this project, they're all impaired. We'd like to see that change, see what we can do to ensure that that does change. Development will occur, but we can be smart about this and ensure that part of that development is to keep future problems from occurring.
Samples are taken all over the watershed to help define the amount of pollution finding its way into the creeks and then into the river. The overall culprit, however, is clear, and it's the same up and down the coast. Stormwater runoff.
See the concrete pipe coming out at the end of the bulkhead? Yeah. That's the problem we face. That's a stormwater pipe. Dumps that stormwater here into Bogue Sound. And that stormwater carries with it a lot of pollutants. Heavy metals, hydrocarbons, coming right off the highway. And bacteria is the one we're most concerned about because of its effect on shellfish waters.
Howe Creek near Wilmington is another example of the challenges being faced. It was once classified as outstanding resource waters,